Hello, everyone. My name is John. I'm here to talk to you about cryptocurrency. As you might have guessed from the channel, I called it Crypt. Crypt, like crypto. Get it? Okay, good. I'm not much of a YouTuber. This is my first video here, so forgive me for the awkward intro. But why don't we just jump right into it? Let me give you a little background about why I'm doing this. I decided to make this channel because I follow a lot of different crypto channels, and there's just a lot of just absolute bullshit out there. You've got all your perma bull people who are just telling you every day that Bitcoin is going to go to $100,000 and blah 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 blah. Then you've got the opposite. You've got your perma bears who are all saying it's going to go down to 3,000 tomorrow. Just watch, just wait. Just let's be rational for a second and just think about this here. And then you've got their people who got all their different VIP groups and all that, and it's all just a bunch of bullshit. Just let's cut through the noise. Let's stop using all these fancy indicators and all that shit. Let's just look at what's actually going on. Let's look at the price action. Let's be rational about this. So kind of what sparked this is that I'm in a bunch of different Telegram group chats for crypto. And yesterday, when we got this dip down from, what was it? We were about 12,500 down to 11,500. Everyone just lost their minds, in these groups. Everyone's saying, we got to sell everything now. It's over. The bull run's over. We're back to a bear market. Just everyone's freaking out. And I'm sitting here let's just chill out for a second. Let's look at what actually happened. We got a 7% drop. That's what you're freaking out about. A 7% drop. That's it. That's all that happened. You're fine. Why are you freaking out? Okay, you got to understand these things. I know everyone's expecting Bitcoin to just keep going up to all-time highs and everything, and I do think it's going to hit all-time highs. I think if you look at this, it's pretty clear to see that we have broken out into a bull market. We broke through this giant wedge that we've been building up for ever since 2017 now, broke this resistance line finally. We're up, let's see, how far are we up since the beginning of the year? Since the beginning of the year, we're up 70%. How can you be up 70% on the year and not be in a bull market? I think it's pretty freaking obvious that we are. But I think that this is something that's really interesting to go back and take a look at. This is the previous bull market. Remember that whole thing where we ran up all the way to 20K? No big deal, that whole thing. Let's look at what happened on the way. Because believe it or not, it wasn't a straight shot up. Back around the time the bull market was starting up, back here end of 2015, we have a 42% correction, down from $500 to about a little under 300. 42% correction, and it bounced right back. Again, 40% correction. 34% correction, another 34% correction, 39% correction, 41% correction, 29% correction. And then even right here, in the days leading up to when it hit its all-time peak at 20K, this is that right here. Just a few days before, we had a 24% drop all the way from about a little under 17,000 to a little over 12,000. These drops are totally normal, especially in these new emerging markets with the incredible volatility that Bitcoin has. It's totally normal and expected. So let's jump back over to where we are now today. Like I said, we've finally broken above this resistance line. We have several weekly closes under our belt. So things are looking really good in the long term. But everyone is freaking out because of a little 7% drop. So let's just, let's chill out. Let's see what's going on. So let's do a little TA here. Originally, I had this drawn as kind of in an ascending triangle here, which would be a bullish pattern, because we had this consistent resistance right around 12,000. And then it looked like we were just about to poke up above 12,000. Looked like we had our breakout. Things were looking great. And then, boom, we dropped right back down. So now it's looking like we're making a little more of an ascending wedge pattern, which is a bearish pattern. So, but still the other thing to keep in mind is that this is very early. This is a small structure so far. This is on the 4 hour. You can see it a little clearer. But this pattern could still be developing. If we get another move up to, say, around 13,000, then all of a sudden this looks like an ascending channel, which is great. So we need to just take a step back and just look at things as they come and not just react and freak out all the time. But let's say that this is an ascending wedge and we're going to break to the downside. That's okay. This crazy thing that happens is that after you break resistance ranges, you come back and you make them support ranges. So we had this huge resistance right here, right around 10,500. We hit up against it roughly about 3 times in the last year or so. But we finally were able to break through it. So now, guess what would be a totally normal thing if we were to break down and come back and make that support? Totally normal. And that would be off the peak that would be about a 16, 17% correction. Totally healthy. We could even come down further. We could come down and test the top of this resistance. Retest that, make it support. That'd be a 25% correction. Totally normal. So main message here is like, just relax. Everyone in all you little Telegram chats, relax. Something else, we can take a look at Ethereum here as well. So Ethereum looks very similar. It also looks like it's building up into an ascending wedge pattern. So this also very likely this could break to the downside. But here I have this green line drawn because if we look back, let's go on our daily. This has been an important level in Ethereum all throughout its history. So it acted roughly as resistance here on the way up back in 2017 in the summer. Again, it overshot it a little bit, but roughly. And then it came back down after the blow off top when it hit around 1400, came back, and that acted as a support range. Then we dropped below it, came back up, acted as resistance. So now I think this would be, it's a really key range throughout its history. So I think this would be perfect if Ethereum were to come down and touch 360. You can even see, if you look on these smaller candles here, let's go to the 4 hour. You see it came down after busting through, it came down and touched this line 3 times. So it kind of did already make it support. I mean, it's not a very meaningful way because it was right after it busted through. But for a longer term trend, it'd be really nice to see it come down, bounce off here, and then continue to the upside. And yes, I am bullish on both Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto in general right now. I think you can see, just look at the weekly. It looks great. Look at this. We've busted through all kinds of resistance. We have, since there are the whole Black Swan event in March, up 387%. Looking great. So I think a big thing to really look at here is don't get caught up on these smaller time frames, looking at the hourly, looking at, oh, look at this massive drop on the hourly. Like, no, it doesn't matter. Take a step back, look at the weekly. We're doing good. We're doing great. One other thing I wanted to take a look at here is Chainlink. So Chainlink has been on an absolute tear, obviously, ever since it broke its $5 resistance back here. It's went up all the way to $20. And now this is a big one that everyone's been talking about in the various groups, Telegram channels that I'm in, that everyone was asking, like back when it was here at like $19, $20, asking like, should I buy in now? Is now a good time to buy? It's like, no, it's not a good time to buy. It's overextended on every single metric. It's at all-time highs. There's going to be a correction soon, and lo and behold, there has been a correction. So I've had this box drawn here for a while. I've been looking for about a 30% correction because there's something really interesting that happens if you start to look left on this. Let's look at the RSI level. I have this line drawn here, this yellow line at 84 on the RSI. And now it turns out that when it hits that level or breaks through that level, you tend to see a pretty stark correction. So let's look back. Here we saw it hit up against the 84 level. And now it made somewhat of a double top here and then came crashing down for a 71% correction. Let's look at another one. Back over here, it hit that 84 level. It continued up a little bit higher, but eventually came down for a 46% correction. Over here, this is a big one. 67% correction. Over here, this is a little smaller, but still 40% correction. So I'm looking for something like that. Anytime it hits these really high levels on the RSI, it might continue up a little more, but ultimately you're going to see a correction. You're going to see something hefty, something between 30, 50, maybe even 70%. So right now, the market is looking really optimistic right now. So I'm looking for a 30% retrace to come back in. Like I said, I think that'd be really healthy to build some support here because we really haven't built any significant support since the breakout. And again, I'm aiming for 30%, but it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to see an even bigger drop. We could see it drop all the way back down to the psychological level of $10 and make support there. That would be, sorry, I just missed that. That would be, let's see, roughly 50% correction. Totally normal. Basically, what I'm trying to get across to you guys is just relax. Crypto markets are crazy. They're super volatile, but you can't be panic selling and you can't be FOMOing into everything. You have to keep a level mind and just chill out. Look back at history, see what's happened before. You can have these massive corrections and still be in a bull market. And that's what I think is going on right now. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. Again, I'm not much for the YouTube stuff, but if you want to do all that like, comment, subscribe stuff, I'm going to try to make some more of these videos. I don't know about every day, but every so often. Channel's called The Crypt. If you want to subscribe and stuff, tell people about it, whatever. I don't know if you feel like it. Or if you think I'm just totally wrong and stupid, feel free to leave a comment and tell me how dumb I am. But yeah, until next time, guys. See ya.